Hello, and welcome to Spoilerpiece Theater, the podcast that doesn't give a shit about spoilers. We just want to talk about the movies. My name is Dave Riedel. I'm a movie yapper. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association.
My name is Evan Crean. My pronouns are he, him. I am also a movie yapper. Clearly. I am co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's Pictures podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
We are multi-hyphenates here on Spoilerpiece.
Yes.
We do lots of things, including talk about other movies over on our Patreon. And let me tell you, it is a banner fucking week here at Spoilerpiece because we give you not one, but two movies on Patreon. We give you First Blood, starring Sylvester Stallone, and First Blood Part 2, Rambo First Blood Part 2, starring Mr. Stallone, over on Patreon. Evan wanted to talk about First Blood, and we decided, well, let's do Rambo also because it's so different from First Blood. And I had not seen Rambo in a very long time, and man, is it fucking different from First Blood.
Yeah, it was really interesting comparing and contrasting the two movies in the conversation. It's not something we do that often, but it felt like kind of essential actually to like really appraise both movies in the context of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a fun conversation. We enjoyed watching both of those, and we really enjoyed talking about them. And so if you are a patron, please go check that out. And if you're not a patron, please consider becoming one. It's only $5 a month. You get an extra episode each week over on the Patreon channel, and you get to vote in a poll each month about a movie that we will watch and review for you. And while we're at it, I would love to thank our Spoilerpiece patron, Heather Sachs. Heather, thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
So this week on Spoilerpiece, we are talking about the third Enola Holmes movie, imaginatively titled Enola Holmes 3. This... Also, as they helpfully point out at some point in the movie, Enola spelled backwards is alone.
Yeah.
I wonder, is that something they've been hip pocketing for 3 movies? I mean,
I guess so.
I don't know. Anyway, this is, it stars everybody you think it stars. Millie Bobby Brown as Enola Holmes, Henry Cavill in a much smaller part, I think, than the first two, as Sherlock Holmes, Helena Bonham Carter as their mother, what's his fuck as the boyfriend / soon to be husband Tewksbury. What's that fucking guy's name?
Louis Partridge.
Louis Partridge, thank you. Dr. Watson returns, and basically everybody is, what's her Moriarty returns. So I don't even remember Moriarty being in the second one. So here's the thing about Enola Holmes. I've seen all 3. I'm not sure I could tell you what happened in the second one. The first one I remember vaguely. And I remember thinking, oh, this is actually not bad. That's the thought that I remember having most.
Yeah.
The second one, the thought I remember having is, Jesus Christ, this is not the first one. So, and I think that this one, I think this is an improvement. I'm just going to, get it out there at the beginning here. I think this is an improvement over the second one. Different director from the first two. I did not check to see whether it's a different screenwriter or whatever. And this movie seems to be very interested in... this movie is like a mystery within a mystery within a mystery. There's like layers to it that don't really make a lot of sense when you think about them, but if you don't think about them, it's just kind of a fun romp, because the thing about Millie Bobby Brown is she's very sprightly, she's very smart, and she's just kind of good, and she's cute. So why not have some fun, Whereas Henry Cavill, I think, playing Sherlock Holmes, not so much kind of like a guy with a lot of rules who's, thinking about solving crimes, doing those. In this one, he just looks like he's depressed because he hasn't been able to take a shit. So
he looks exhausted in this one. Just straight up tired, and not just because he's taken prisoner by Moriarty.
Right. Yes, that's a good. He does. He looks tired, And then Helena Bonham Carter is starting to like weird because they're trying to make her look younger than she is because, or rather older than she is because she and Henry Cavill are close enough in age. So I don't think the parent thing really works out with them.
Mm.
And then what's her face is like way too young. Like it's all, all over the place. And then
Mm-hmm.
Watson ends up being like the number 2 in this movie, which is not what I expected at all.
Yeah.
So
Me neither, but I like that actor, Himesh Patel. I've
I
seen
do
him in
too.
a few things, and I've enjoyed him in this quite a bit.
I've always liked him. I every time he pops up, I'm like, oh, it's that guy. He's like
Mm-hmm.
one of those people to me, but I like him. So, what are you thinking, Evan? Where like what should I? Let's talk about plot.
Yeah, we can start
There,
with the one sentence IMDb and work our way out.
the one sentence IMDb. There's a lot of plot in this one, and so here it is. Detective Enola Holmes heads to Malta, where her aspirations merge in her most complex and dangerous case yet. I mean,
Mm,
maybe. I mean, they're
yeah,
all kind of the same in
right.
terms of
Complex, yes. Like you said, there are layers to this story, confusing layers to the story that don't all add up. But
like
yes.
like the group of people who break Moriarty out of prison. Like they say, we'll make it look like you escaped, but they break her out of prison, so she did escape. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's that. There's no explanation for why they're breaking her out of prison, if I recall.
Mm-mm.
Like, who are these people? It's just like, we're going to break you out of prison and okay. Why does everybody have such good teeth? Not that I want them to have the teeth that they have in the John Adams miniseries from HBO, where their teeth are all so fucking gross. You can't help but look at their teeth and be like, did they sign the Declaration of Independence? I don't know. Look at his fucking teeth. It's not like that. So I guess my point is it's watchable, but it's loopy. I don't know. I found the second one like ponderous and not very interesting and very long. And this one at least has the good taste to be significantly shorter than its 2 predecessors by a good 20 minutes. But it still seems a little long.
Oh, it definitely is fucking long. I
Doesn't
don't
have
remember
quite
a
enough
ton.
story,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. So I don't remember a ton about the second one. I do remember enjoying the first and the second one pretty, I don't want to say equally, but I liked them a lot. And this one I just found tedious, and I struggled to get through it because I think they make several boneheaded choices. First,
Explain, please.
yeah. So first, the layers and the mystery don't add up. Second, we sideline Henry Cavill, which I think is a mistake because I really liked in the second one when Millie Bobby Brown and him teamed up and were working together more closely, and I feel like that made for a much more interesting movie when they're kind of have that because they have a good rapport.
Yeah.
And so you like split them up and they're like largely separated for the whole movie. Then when they get back together, he gives like this like super corny like I respect you and I think you're smart kind of speech. And after like they get Moriarty, the movie has like 12 more endings. You're just sitting there watching like, okay, we got to have a wrap up conversation with Sherlock. We got to have a wrap up conversation with the mom. We got to do the wedding ceremony. We got to have a wrap up conversation with Tewksbury. We got to have it's like how many? It's like Lord of the Rings. Like we've got like a million endings to this movie, and like you said, it's very light on plot, and so it just feels like it's just going on for the sake of going on, even though it's shorter.
Well, the thing that's funny about it is it's light on plot, but at the same time, it has more plot, I feel like, than the other two because there's like, every 12 minutes, Enola's like, oh no, Moriarty was ahead of us the whole way. Until, of course, Moriarty's not ahead of them.
Right. So she's like in Malta. So like the first part is like, oh shit, she's late to her wedding. And they're like rushing to get there. And then she's like, oh crap, we're in Malta where there's like highwaymen and vagabonds like trying to rob us. And so this like guy on horseback, galloping up and she's like, oh shit, I'm about to get robbed. So she's like jettisoning parts of her wedding dress and like getting ready to shoot which turns out is Watson telling her that Sherlock has disappeared, not without causing like an accident. I think where she like falls off the carriage or something.
Yes.
So there's like that whole bit about like vagabonds and robbers, and there's also this like anti-fascist revolutionary group on the island that's trying to like wrestle control away from the British. And there's like this goofball guy who shows up in a bunch of scenes, and like the whole joke is that he takes forever to explain the name of his like separatist group or whatever. And so everyone's like, okay, yeah, we get it, we know what you're here for, Inigo Montoya, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of remember Last Crusade, how that there's that guy who's trying to kill Indy, and he's finally like, my soul's prepared, how's yours?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a good way to, yeah, I like that. But in this one, like in Indy, he's just like, he's there and they use him and then he's gone. And in this, they keep coming back to him and it's like, this fucking guy again? You know?
Exactly. So it's like later in the movie, he shows up with all of his people to like pull guns on all of Moriarty's people.
Yeah.
So
and where did
like
Moriarty get these people? I guess from that group of people who broke her out of prison, but we never see or hear tell of them again, or like they don't have a, like, what's the network in Malta that they have? I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know. And it's not clear to me. It's like what they got her out because they knew she could track down this missing treasure that they're trying to find. This like
that's
blood
right.
money.
I forgot about the treasure.
Yeah,
I actually forgot that's the plot of the movie.
Yeah, there's this whole bit about blood money where it's like basically like Sherlock is on to Moriarty, who's on to this like scandal on the island that Tewksbury's father was involved in. And it was like they were in Afghanistan and they stole gold they like butchered the locals and stole their gold under like orders to like basically take money for the crown. And then they came back to Malta and like hid the treasure because they were so ashamed of what they had done or something.
Yeah. But if it were Afghanistan, they really would have been stealing rubies, but that's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that whole that's like this the kind of the central mystery is like, okay, we've got this like buried blood money. What are we gonna do with it? Who has it? And they like unravel the conspiracy behind it, which is kind of like what's driving Moriarty to do all of these things, I guess, to find the treasure.
But Moriarty is also in it for herself at the same time, because she's gonna, steal the treasure and give some of it to the people who broke her out of prison, but she's going to keep it too. So,
right. And there's this kind of like progressive bent to the story, like modern progressive bent, where it's like, oh, well, you stole this from other people, so I'm going to be like Robin Hood about it and give it back to the people you stole it from or something. Like, we need to like raise awareness about the British and colonialism and the evils of it, kind of, you know what I mean? There's kind of like this underlying bent
for
to the
sure
movie, this
but
like
it's also
kind of going underneath.
It's also kind of strange when you cast, I am all for diversity in casting, et cetera, but when you make it anachronistic in the sense that I don't think that Dr. Watson would have been highly respected within England looking like he did, being who he was. But they're pretending that they have the same social morals that we're supposed to have now. You know what I mean? It's a little bizarre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think it was necessarily a bad idea. I just don't think they give it enough air and explore it to enough degree.
Right. And I think when you have performers of that caliber, yes, let's go ahead and cast Himesh Patel as Watson. Like, why not? But I think you have to kind of talk about the elephant in the room if you're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've dealt with it, and then you can move on with the story, Mm-hmm. The woman who plays Moriarty has been in a ton of stuff lately. And I was trying to remember while I was watching this what else I had recently seen her in. And of course, I've forgotten what it was. Sharon Duncan Brewster. Very English to have three names, by the way. Ballerina. That was it.
Hmm.
That's what I remember seeing her in recently. Talk about a movie with killing.
Yeah, I've since I saw Ballerina, I rewatched it because I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's a lot more fun than people are giving it credit for.
I absolutely do too. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but it's at least as good as John Wick 4. I mean, I am one of the few people.
Yes.
John Wick 4 is an hour too long.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
just
I found it
because,
almost unwatchable. It was so long.
yeah. And I had watched John Wick 3 more recently because I had not really enjoyed that one the first time. I'm like, oh, this is better than I remember. But Ballerina kind
Hmm.
of is in this ballpark. The thing about Ballerina is the killing, so much killing. And I love the fact that when she's in the restaurant and she's telling that woman, hey, no, everything's all right. It turns out that woman's an assassin too, because they're all
Hmm.
assassins. Now, yes, that doesn't make sense, but hey, it's the John Wick universe. So who gives a shit? Anyway, we're talking about Enola Holmes 3.
Yeah, I feel like the first two had like a light breeziness that for me made them move, and this one just entirely lacked that. It didn't have it used the same kind of fun cheeky animations that I enjoyed, and like
Yeah.
maps and like drawings and things falling from the sky and newspaper headlines and all this kind of like stream of consciousness style plotting and voiceover, but it just didn't have the same momentum. And also in and I it's been a while since I've seen the other two. This one has other characters breaking the fourth wall in a way that I found so irritating.
Well, I don't love the fourth wall break generally in movies. I
Hmm.
think it works for Enola Holmes as a character, or at least it did when she was younger. Now that she's kind of an adult, I'm not really sure you need it as much because
No.
we know what she's like. We know her cheekiness. We know how she feels that Sherlock is always like, yeah, Enola, me. Um,
Hmm.
we know how she feels about her mother because that's all she fucking talks about. So I think you can just kind of get onto it and you can have like a nod or two, but you don't need as much fourth wall breaking as there is. Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes along with the thing about voiceovers that we both have, which is like, is your
Right.
voiceover really necessary? Really? You know?
No, it's not. I mean, getting back to First Blood, there's not any fucking voiceover in there. You don't need
That's
it.
right. You don't need it. All you got to do is have a guy walk up to you and be like, it wasn't me who drew first blood. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're making me realize there was way too much voiceover in this. There's the fourth wall breaking from other characters. Like I think there's the scene where they're cutting back to the like woman who is pretending to be like the high society woman at like the tea with the mother,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she looks at the camera and gives the camera a look. And I'm just like, I don't need other characters breaking the fourth wall. I think I found that just utterly irritating, as much as the constant exposition dumps through dialogue that I feel like was unraveling a lot of like the mystery. It didn't feel so much like people were uncovering clues as much as they were just interrogating each other for the information.
So, what I'm gathering from you is that this didn't really work for you at all in any way.
No, it did not. I was really bummed because I liked the first two quite a bit, and this one I was like, "The fuck, man."
You know what I would love is if on your letterboxd review, all you wrote was the fuck, man. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I was a little too. I don't know. It's just I just this it didn't. I think it's because not that we take them seriously in different ways, but I feel like movies like this have no stakes. So it's kind of like,
Hmm.
what's the purpose of really getting all that invested in it? So to me, it's kind of like, it's fine. Isn't that weird
Hmm.
how I get so angry about some movies? And you would think this would be one of them based on like the weird plot machinations and as you just mentioned that I had completely forgotten about, other characters breaking the fourth wall. Like that's,
Mm-hmm.
you know how I feel about bad fourth wall breaks. There have been whole
Oh,
movies
totally.
where they break a fourth wall in like the last scene and I lose my fucking mind.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and I've definitely heard you be like, "Oh, this is too fucking cute." Like, don't be
Yes.
cute. I don't need cute.
But I think that this whole series' purpose is to be cute in a way.
Right.
You know, it's like we want to have a sprightly, feminist, 19th century, but also contemporary, like woman who fucking fights crime and she's just as smart as her super famous brother. But we also want it to be cute. And it's like, well, the purpose of it's to be cute. I don't look at these movies and think great mystery or empowerment or whatever. It's just like, yeah, it's cute. It's fucking Netflix, whatever. And I also think that this might be, which we have talked about, and I actually still don't know whether this is true or not, but the whole idea that Netflix movies, like Netflix knows that people don't pay attention all the time when they watch Netflix movies, so they have characters explaining what's going on while they're doing things.
Right.
So I just don't take this shit as seriously, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Do you take it seriously? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. What the fuck? The fuck, man. That's my review.
Yeah. The fuck, man.
Yours is the fuck, man, and mine is, like Evan said, that'll be my review.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe something about the fact of Sherlock Holmes. Like, I love Sherlock Holmes. I very much enjoyed these. So maybe I just, part of it is I was hoping for a better mystery.
That's true. It's not a great mystery. It is unfortunate. I think that if they went to the trouble of writing like a really good story, you could totally forgive a lot of you could forgive the extra fourth wall breaks, or like if the story actually made sense, you could forgive that it's so heavy on plot. Like if it made sense, obviously we wouldn't be sitting here talking about how it doesn't make sense and it was pissing us off. Well, it was pissing you off, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think that boils down to like my ultimate disappointment with the movie is just I don't feel like it's an interesting mystery at the heart of it all.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that I think it's much more interesting if I'm going to Dr. Chris this a little bit. I think it would have been much more interesting if Moriarty had just gotten out on her own and was just exacting revenge. And then maybe she stumbles upon the whole Tewksbury gold thing and is like, well, great. Not only can I exact revenge, I can further it by ruining her husband's reputation. Right. And just like, this is the fucking greatest thing ever. And I can get rich doing it. Fuck you, Enola Holmes, you little bitch. You know, like that's, it could be that kind of thing. Instead, it's just kind of like, and we will break you out of prison and you will drive Enola Holmes crazy because you are Moriarty. Nobody says that. I also feel like, as much as I like Hamish Patel and his Dr. Watson, we're leaning on the cane a little too much.
Yeah, it did feel very heavy on the cane.
Yeah. It reminded me of Scott Eastwood last week at the end of Lucky Strike being like, we get it. He was shot in the leg, you know? Like, fucking everyone relax. Everyone chill your nuts, all right? Relax your boner. Just fucking... Not everything has to be like, oh, remember how that thing that happened? Well, here's a physical manifestation of it for the rest of the movie. Okay. I'm not saying you have to recover from like a golf ball size gut wound by just being like, no big deal. But like, come on, too much.
Yeah, agreed. I like my Dr. Watson a little more spry.
Yeah, exactly. I would like my Dr. Watson to like shoot motherfuckers too, you know?
Yeah.
That would be great. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I did like Jude Law as Dr. Watson in the Guy Ritchie ones, because those were a little bit more like rough and tumble Sherlock Holmes and Watson. There was a lot more like fisticuffs and like action-y fights.
Well, that's the Guy Ritchie connection, right? But
yeah,
I think that the first Guy Ritchie, Jude Law, Robert Downey Jr., Sherlock Holmes, I think that one worked really well. And I think you've got to have, when you've got Jude Law, who's almost as big a movie star as Robert Downey Jr. was, because that was
Mhm.
right after Iron Man brought Robert Downey Jr. back, right?
Right.
So it's like, all right, so now he's huge, and Jude Law has always almost been huge, and this is like a great showcase for the two of them together. And they both got great acting chops, so they can both do these characters. This is the kind of thing these dudes were fucking born to do, you know?
Right.
And so, of course, he's got to be almost as amazing as Sherlock Holmes. Whereas Hamish Patel, fine actor and quite charismatic, but this is not his movie. You know,
Right.
this is the Millie Bobby Brown show. She deserves better.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. Although I have to say, at least this wasn't as bad as the one we watched. What was it? The electric,
The dragon one?
the electric state. Oh my god, that was horrendous.
God.
That's
No,
one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
The dragon one was actually not bad. It was the electric. That was the one with Chris Pratt, right?
Yes. Now, Damsel, the one where she was escaping the dragon, that one I thought was actually pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about, you know, you have your Millie Bobby Browns, etc. Has she? I mean, she's, you know, okay. So Stranger Things is her thing, right? And
Right.
whatever. I've never seen any of that. And now you've got Enola Holmes, and I know that she was in at least one of the Godzilla movies, and then there's Damsel, but she kind of just, this is just kind of what she does now. This sort of character, right? This sort of plucky, super smart, you know, everyone underestimates me kind of character, right?
Yeah. It seems like it.
Why don't we have her do some other shit? Why don't we have her, you know, I'm not saying that you've got to go the Mila Kunis route and play a fucking heroin addict, but let's see some diversity, you know?
Yep. Yep. I saw recently that she's attached to a TV show with David Harbour where they're going to play like father and daughter spies or something. And I'm just like, okay, all right. That's they work together on Stranger Things. I get it. It kind of makes sense that they would work together again, but okay, I don't know about this idea.
Well, why doesn't Millie Bobby Brown play like an American, like rookie cop in a drama, and then her partner gets killed and she's got to solve her partner's murder? Like, what about that shit?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could make it a big budge fucking thing, whatever, but it could be a little more gritty. You know, we could use real squibs instead of CGI. She could use the word fuck, you know, which I'm sure she does in real life, because like who the fuck doesn't? I don't know.
Make a Blue Steel with Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh my god! But make it better. I hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you don't have like Ron Silver just like hearing voices all of a sudden while he's working out at the gym. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry you didn't like this one.
I mean, I suggested it, I think. But also, I think we were kind of like, it's one of those weeks where it's like holiday week, you know, 4th of July. There's not usually a lot coming out. There's like the tentpole stuff that's already in theaters. And so we were like, let's watch something that's easy to watch. Okay, Enola Holmes 3.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Well, and we also, I mean, I'm sure that this is being hyped up somewhere, but you know, usually when Netflix has a big budget fucking movie coming out, we get a million emails. And yes, sometimes the movies are still hard to acquire because that's just how emailing, you know, publicity departments goes. But this one, we heard nothing. But then we emailed them and immediately they were like, here it is. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that experience when it's just been like, I've had to search out the movie and I was kind of expecting them to be like, well, I don't know. But they were like, here, totally. It'll be in your mailbox tomorrow. And it was.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Very prompt.
I don't know if that says like they have great faith in it or, you know, I don't know what the whole plan is.
Yeah. But maybe it was like, hey, we're just happy to be here.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, do you have anything to say about Millie Bobby Brown and Enola Holmes 3, Enola spelled backwards, is alone, that we haven't said yet?
That also floored me when they said that line.
I know. That was one of those lines where I was like, I'm not really sure what the purpose of this is, because
Mm-hmm.
she's never alone. It's like she's not solitary. I mean, I think she likes to think that she is, but she's not.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie doesn't make her that way. So what the
Right.
fuck is this? You know?
Mm-hmm.
This is the same screenwriter who did the other two, by the way.
Oh, is it?
For sure.
Yeah. Feels much weaker by comparison.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Can't win them all. But yeah, I don't know. I have much more to say about this. I think I'm talked out on it.
All right. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. By the way, what happened to Mycroft Holmes, the other brother, the older brother?
Yeah, I was also kind of like, huh.
Was he in the
And
second
I was
one?
like, I don't know. I was like, I couldn't remember even if he was in the other two. I was like, did they like retcon him away, or
He's in the first one for sure, because I remember him.
Okay.
And he is an Arthur Conan Doyle invention. He's not just someone they invented
Right.
for this.
Right. Okay. But yeah, they make zero mention of him in this. Functionally, they're a 3-person family: the mother and these two siblings.
Yeah, I don't remember the second one well enough to know if he's mentioned. I know he's not in it, but I don't know if he's mentioned in it or anything either.
Yep. Weird choice.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Evan and I scratch our heads for the last 32 minutes. This one was truly, I mean, I'm not like really rethinking my whole attitude about it, but I am kind of thinking, did we watch the same movie? Did I watch this movie at all? Because I just didn't go as deep as you did, man. It speaks to how much I think you really didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I speak for myself and say I was a little more emotionally invested because of liking, Sherlock Holmes and this particular style of mystery. But yeah, man.
Well, that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So that was us, Evan and me, on Spoilerpiece Theater, talking about Enola Holmes 3. I almost said Enola Holmes 2, but Enola Holmes 3. I think that's going to be a pass for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to go ahead and say, if you're flipping around Netflix on the 4th and you don't have anything else to do, give it a watch, because you know how much fucking original content Netflix has? Just fucking find something else.
Yep. Get lost in one of their kooky TV shows or something. There's a new Harlan Coben show out. Come on.
There's a girl who's too tall. Yeah. I mean, isn't that a show? Like, I don't know. The Tall Girl? I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, there was like a teen rom-com-y kind of movie called Tall Girl. And I think they made a second one of those.
There you go. All right. Anyway, moving on. Want to thank our wonderful editor, Otto Clammer. Otto, thank you for making us sound great every week.
Thanks, Otto.
Spoilerpiece Theater is available everywhere you can get podcasts. Our website is spoilerpiece.com. On social media, we're on Spoilerpiece Theater at Facebook. Wait a minute. Let me say that in a way that sounds like a person who's actually used Facebook before. We are Spoilerpiece Theater on Facebook, and we're at Spoilerpiece on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky, and Threads. Our email address is spoilerpiece@gmail.com. Why don't you shoot us an email and tell us what you think of Enola Holmes 3 and Enola Holmes and Enola Holmes 2 and First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2. And yes, I do mention how stupid I think it is that the second one is called Rambo First Blood Part 2 over on Patreon. Please don't forget to do that. Yeah. If you want to rate the show because you like it so much, you can go to ratethispodcast.com/spoilerpiece. You can rate us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And like I had just mentioned 2 seconds ago, we have a Patreon. We talk about Rambo First Blood Part 2 and its first movie in that series, First Blood, all starring Stallone. And yeah, that is Spoilerpiece Theater. My name is Dave Riedel. I'm a movie yapper. I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, and I'm David Riedel on Blue Sky, and I'm Dave Sees Movies on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Threads, and something else, and I'm X can suck a dick DIK on Twitter.
It's quite the list I have to remember.
I know. Believe me, every time that I do it, I'm like, all right, it's all these, and then I still have to pause and think, which ones did I do already? So
I'll make it easy on you listeners. So my name's Evan Crean. I'm co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's the Pictures podcast. You can follow me on social media as Real Recon, and that's real as in film reel.
we will see you next week, everyone. Thanks.